AMC having a nice green day today, but we do have to go over the probabilities for tomorrow as we face the rate hike increase from the Fed. So let's go ahead and go over that now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an AMC technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Man, I almost lost it there. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. My apologies if you can actually hear my little toddler right outside you guys. He's having a little bit of trouble with my daughter and my sister, right? So they're being very kind by taking care of the little guy while I'm in here. So let's just go ahead and get this done with so I can go and relieve them a little bit from the little monster himself. All right. So, yes, we're looking at AMC on the daily chart here, guys, and we're still kind of chopping around the same chop box that we've been looking at for quite some time. Okay, you guys. So this chop box is in reference to a gap that we actually formed back here on January 10th to about January 11th. And also the bottom side of this, capitulation event, which was just about around 439, right? Which, I mean, today was actually that high, 438, right? But still, you can see how well we're respecting this chop box and we're still within it, okay? So what I would like to say is that, I mean, well, first of all, we are at the support bottom of this massive ascending channel that we've been riding for some time, right? This one right over here, right? So, yes, we are right at the bottom of it right now, and we are in a buy formation breakout potential. Okay, those are very bullish signals. I mean, the broadening descending wedge is already a bullish signal, and the fact that we're within another broadening descending wedge within it in a shorter time frame is another bullish signal itself. Okay, so that could be suggesting a potential breakout, but there's no way that I can tell you that that's exactly what's going to happen, okay, because nothing is guaranteed in the markets and we don't know what the heck is going on. We can only look at the mathematical probabilities, right, you guys? So, and as you can see today, this daily candle printed as an indecision candle. This is known as a spinning top doji, okay, which usually happens. These types of spinning top dojis happen very often when we're about to expect a macroeconomic release or an economical data, right? So tomorrow is very important as there's going to be a lot of volatility, okay? So sometimes AMC can work inversely to the markets and sometimes it works in sympathy to it, okay? So it's hit or miss with this bad boy. Okay, so let's just go ahead and continue on the analysis here and take a look at something very interesting. Okay, so if you can look right down here, please notice that volatility represented by this indicator BBWP is within the critical contraction zone. Okay, so we would actually love for this moving average to also be within the contractive zone, which is within the 15 percentile. Okay, a very important fact here is that when you pair volatility with momentum, it's actually a little needed because volatility is direction neutral. Okay, so you can see here that we have an upside pivot from the 4-hour momentum while we're in critical contraction. Okay, so there is no design to this. Okay, so it's not programmed or pre-programmed to do anything other than what the sentiment or what psychology suggests for it to do. Okay, so without psychology, there isn't any programming in this. Okay, so it's just a little silly to think like that. All right, so what we're looking at here is based on sentiment, based on the volatility that the public can instill into this. Okay, so if we do feel like there could be a setup here, then yeah, we'll go ahead and take it to the upside. If there isn't, then we'll go ahead and take it to the downside. Okay, you guys, so just know that it is at a critical contraction phase right now, and that's a good thing. It is a good thing right now, especially since we have an upside pivot or an upside bias on the 4-hour. Okay, so very interesting times here. Now, if we move up to the 6-hour time frame, go ahead and notice that we still have an upside bias from that momentum, and we're still in the contraction phase on volatility. Okay, let's go ahead and move up and take a look at here. We're at critical expansion on the volatility, and we're still suggesting a little bit of sideways trading, slightly bearish. Okay, while we do maintain ourselves down below this green line, which is the 20 percentile, we're still in a sense in bearish area, right? So we would love for this stochastic momentum to be pivoted to the upside alongside volatility, either maintaining itself at critical volatility or contracting. Okay, so that would be some good signals here. So I do have something. I do have something interesting to show you, though. Okay, so I would like to point out something that may be suggesting a downside. Okay, so please remember that I did mention to you that as soon as we start reaching this 2-spot 618 at 414, that things would start getting a little dangerous and tedious in this area here. Okay, so what I want to kind of show you here is that, you know what, maybe I can even see it on the 6 hour. Sorry, I clicked on the 4 hour, right? Okay, so yeah, there could be a potential for something here, and I'm just going to show you what that is. Okay, it's just a silly formation, but it doesn't, I mean, there is a probability for it, is all I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make some connecting of dots like this, and then make another little silly trend line and put it right up to here. Okay, so yeah, what you're looking at right here is this triangle formation. It usually signals a potential bear flag, or a symmetrical triangle like this sometimes suggests the continuation to the downside. Okay, so why am I saying that it could be a continuation to the downside? Well, when price action does make a downside move like this and it starts building a formation like this, depending on how long it actually consolidates within this area would be the determining factor of whether it's going to reverse or not. Okay, so it has been going a pretty nice amount of time on this sideways trading. Okay, but the point is that when building a formation like this after a downtrend, this formation then becomes something called a continuation formation. Okay, so, and it usually tends to break out when it's close, or break down when it's close to the 65 to 70% to the apex of the triangle, right? So that could arguably be on the next 6 hour iteration, right? Which is starting tomorrow. Okay, so if that is the case, then there is a probability here that it can lead to a downside move. It's not validated just yet, in fact, so we just have to kind of keep an eye on it. And also do know that tomorrow is also, just always remember, okay, tomorrow is the economical data release, and there could be some potential risks there. Okay, so the downside probabilities here are suggesting about $3.83. Okay, so of which you can see historically has been used pretty nicely, right? $3.83 is literally all of these supports here. Okay, so it does have some confluence there as well. All right, so now in respects to maybe an inverse fib from the current 6 hour, from the previous 6 hour iteration, which is that red candle right before the last one printed, right? We can go ahead and take this into note. Okay, so go ahead and notice that we would be right upside of the 3-spot 272 at 380. And also in a larger time frame from an inverse fib, we're also right upside of the 3-spot 272 here. So geometrically speaking, it is suggesting some of those potentials, right? So now let me look at, okay, so we are using the EMA 7, the 7-period exponential moving average, as a point of resistance alongside the resistance from the triangle top itself. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and look at some SMAs, as the SMA 10 may actually be resistance as well. Okay, well, actually, we're finding support from the SMA 10 in this area. Okay, so now that we touched the top of the triangle, it's only natural for us to come back and test the bottom side of the triangle. But please remember that 65 to 70% to the apex of the triangle suggests a downside continuation. Okay, so that very well could be in play here. We don't know. All right, so we all we could do is kind of validate here, okay, and then maybe put in some opinion here. So there's not anything other than that. All right, so yes, we are at a critical support right now as well. So I do like that. Okay, and the next thing that we have to notice is that we are about, let's see, the price action actually is just about, about 17.67% away from the mean, which is $5.06. Okay, and we are at the bottom side of the Bollinger Bands. Okay, so this is usually when we're at the bottom side of the Bollinger Bands, usually an upside move is to be expected to meet the mean again. Okay, and then we can test the mean as a form of resistance like here, and then if we feel that, you know, if sentiment feels the need to actually take the price action above the mean, then so be it. Right, but that is essentially the natural ebb and flow of what happens within the bands. Okay, and I just this is called the ARC reversion variant. I happen to put a mean band in the middle of the Bollinger bands to for us to easily distinguish what the mean is of the price action at the current moment. Right. So now, if I were to bring up let's see. I actually want to take a look at the overall supports and resistances, right? And we can do that with my new indicator I put together. It's called ARC Substance, and let's just see. Okay, so the 4.618 was landing at about $4.14. So my algo is actually landing at about $4.18 on the daily support. So it's still pretty relevant. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay, now as far as the mean is concerned, then we are, let's see, man, we're right in the middle of the weekly resistance and the weekly support, right? So that's nice. Let me actually see if we meet the mean in another time frame and see if that's actually a potential too. Actually, we do. Very interesting here. That the weekly resistance on the daily, which would be honestly the most important one, the weekly resistance is definitely 573 to 575. Okay, so if we are able to make an upside move and use maybe the catalyst tomorrow, if we do get a positive catalyst, a 25 bip could be a positive one, or even no rate hike would be the greatest one, right? So very likely we can actually see a move to this upside. But remember when I said that sometimes AMC tends to play inversely to the markets, right? So 30-minute immediate short-term time frame RSI suggesting a little bit of consolidation here, slightly bearish, slightly bullish via the pink line, 14-day simple. Okay, so now the 4-hour time frame is suggesting an upside continuation, but it's still within the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile, so we could face a little bit of some sideways trading there as well. Okay, so now the 8-hour time frame is about to face a little bit of resistance from that 14-day simple. And we would face a little bit of support from the gravitational zone of the oversold percentile, just like this, okay? So we have to break the barrier some way, somehow. All right, so now the daily time frame is suggesting some consolidation as well, okay? Because we do have the resistance from the 14-day simple alongside the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile and inversely as well, okay? The gravitational zone, okay? So now the 3-day time frame and the 5-day time frame look just to be waiting for the shorter time frames, validations, or influence. Okay, please remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever, okay? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be just fine. But please refer to the links in the description below where you'll find some important information, okay, you guys? So with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.